This channel is dedicated to making you a better reader, a better manager. And today I want to share my leadership journey and focus more on the mistakes that I've made so that you can learn from those mistakes. I've been a reader for the last 10 years. I'm one of the co-founders of Corporate Staffing Services. And it hasn't been a smooth journey. And more so because I got into leadership at a very young age. I left employment at the age of 29 years and to form Corporate Staffing Services. So it hasn't been a smooth journey. And even as I sit here and I share with you tips on how you can become a good reader, I'm not putting myself up there saying I'm perfect. So today it's all about Pamina's, my leadership journey, the mistakes I've made, and what I've learned from them, and even you, what you can pick from those mistakes, so that if you find yourself in similar circumstances, you definitely know what to do. What I have learned over time, and even listening to the people that I manage, is that I used to obsess over the small details. And the small details here, I mean being very nitpicky, looking at the small things, as opposed to focusing on results. What do I mean? When we become leaders, remember, it's because there's something extra that we're offering. And maybe that's the reason why you're promoted. So the boss looked at you and saw that you're good at what you do. So myself, having been an entrepreneur, having formed this company, at the back of my mind, I always felt that I know sort of everything that happens here at Corporate Staffing Services. So whether it's the recruitment services that we offer, whether it's the HR consultancy. Yes, I did have a very good understanding. And so even when I brought someone new on board, I would be very picky looking at what are they doing? How are they going through the process? As opposed to looking at what do we need to achieve and letting this person run with it so that they can do it their own way. Okay? So over time, I've learned that don't obsess over details. The key thing you need to do is communicate the results you want, and then let that individual do it their own way. It doesn't mean that now and then you cannot interject, you cannot offer your advice, you cannot ask for them to improve, but it means don't micromanage. It doesn't feel good to you, and also definitely doesn't feel good to the other person. The other mistake I also did over time is not being able to put myself in the other person's shoes. Here I'm talking about being empathetic. So it doesn't mean that the facts change, the facts of the event or story change, but it does help to put yourself in the other person's shoes. So for example, if you've had a very well-performing employee and you notice that in this new month, all of a sudden, they've started to come to work late. So this is someone who, if your reporting time is 8:30, you find they're even at the office at 7 or even 7:30, way earlier than the usual. But over time, you realize, what's happening? This person all of a sudden is coming at 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., and without explanation. So when I was beginning this journey, it was very easy to call them and ask them, hey, guess what? You're supposed to be reporting at this time. How come you're becoming late? And maybe go ahead, issue a warning letter and such kind of thing. I don't think that's being empathetic. So what I've learned is first to put myself in the other person's shoes. The facts remain as they are, but when I put myself in the other person's shoes, at least I have a better understanding. And for example, someone coming to work late, they've changed from one estate to the other. And now they're living maybe 30 kilometers away from the office. And a simple conversation would diffuse the issue. So putting myself in the other person's shoes has greatly helped me to understand where the other person is coming from. And also understand, as a reader, we work with people who have different personalities. Myself, some people have described me as a perfectionist. And looking back, yeah, I can see some traits of perfectionism. And that's something that I'm working on. It's a journey. So on the other hand, I know there are people who they work well in the morning hours. Evening, if you want anything useful from them, you can't get it. So part of also putting yourself in the other person's shoes is understanding that in the workplace, we all have different personalities. And that's the beauty of it, because everyone can be able to bring their unique skills, their unique approach to issues, and you make the organization a better place. So learn to be empathetic, learn to put yourself in other people's shoes. My final mistake is that I did not understand that leadership is a skill. It's not a talent. So like I said, when I began, here I am, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm very excited. I have a company. I've even started hiring employees. It does feel good. And I'm even good at what I do, HR and consultancy. But does that mean that this makes me an automatic leader? Unfortunately not. So if you're in my shoes, you've just been promoted because you're a good engineer, because you're a good procurement professional, it just says that you have potential. But then you don't stop there. You go that extra step of learning leadership skill. Because leadership is a skill, it's not a talent. It's not something that we are born with. So with that, what I did is I sought help. I had mentors. At one time also, I sought the services of a coach so that I could acquire the leadership skills. So if you're in my situation also, if you're a new manager or you're looking to improve on your leadership skills, there are many resources out there. YouTube, you could be watching videos like these. There are many articles out there. I highly recommend Harvard Business Review. They have a very active website. You can buy books. So if you're good at your job, don't just stop there. Realize that leadership is a skill. It's something that we can improve, but only if we put effort. So those are the 3 mistakes that I've made in my leadership journey. And the lesson here is that it's a journey. Leadership is not something we can perfect. You'll agree with me, even the people we look up to, whether the politician, whether it's the business leaders, once in a while you look at them and you see that there's an area that they need to improve. So if you're starting out in this management, if you're starting out in this leadership journey, I would want to help you. So we do offer leadership and coaching services where we empower new leaders and managers. And if this is something that will be of interest to you, if this video has spoken to you, then I have a link below where I share more details on how we go about partnering with you so that you can be able to improve on your leadership skills.